Okay, let me start. Okay, yesterday we have discussed, I explained about different manufacturing process and defects occurred in such manufacturing process, and also discussed about different non-destructive testings and where those testings are suitable, and what kind of defects can be find by using different non-destructive testings. All these topics are covered in previous class, yesterday's class. Now, in today's class, we will discuss about radiography. Okay, radiography is one of the popular non-destructive testing technique in nowadays. So many modern industries are using radiography for finding the defects in the component without destroying the component. Okay, the versatility of the radioactive radiography plays a major role in the quality department of engineering. Okay, now we see the basics and okay, here in radiography we are mainly using two ray two rays. One is X-ray and gamma rays for finding the defects in the components by penetrating the X-rays and gamma rays into the component, and we are finding the we are studying the inside properties and defects of the a particular component. So we should know about uh, X-rays and gamma rays. What is X-ray? What is gamma rays? And what are the properties of the X-ray and gamma ray? And what is the generation source of generation for X-ray and gamma ray? Okay. Now in this class, we will I will cover what is X-ray, what is gamma ray, and properties of gamma ray and X-ray, and generation and the source of generation of X-ray and gamma ray. Okay. First, before going to the X-ray and gamma ray, first you should have some basic idea on electromagnetic radiation. Electromagnetic radiation. This is the main concept. If you know the electromagnetic radiation, then automatically you know what is X-ray and gamma ray. Okay. In previous class, I explained this. Once again, I repeat it. Electromagnetic radiation is created because of electrons. You know, every matter in universe is the combination of atoms. So every atom consists of comprises three things. One is electron, photon, and neutron. Here, the electrons in the atomic particle, the reason for the electromagnetic radiation means the acceleration of this electron, the acceleration of this, the accelerated movement of this electron causes electromagnetic radiation. See this figure explains. Here, the black line with direction gives the movement of the electron, means the electron is moving with certain velocity, means it is accelerating in this direction. The movement of electron creates two fields, that is electric field and magnetic field. Here these two fields are maintaining okay at an angle 90 degrees, means these are apart from these are right angles to each other. Okay, and these two fields travel along with electron, okay, in a bundle of light energy, in a bundle of light energy that is called photon. You know, light energy is nothing but the bunch of photons, means the energy is transferred in terms of photons, that is nothing but light energy. Means the photon consists the electric field and magnetic field with a phase difference of 90 degrees. Okay, and see this. Now the light energy is transferred in terms of photons. Okay, and the distance between two peaks in this is the electric field or magnetic field, whichever you have taken. The distance between two peaks, here the field in terms of sinusoidal wave, the peaks distance between two peaks, two consecutive peaks gives wavelength. Okay, and number of waves that can be formed within a certain length of time is called frequency. Means if there is so many number of waves are created within small time means high frequency. Okay, means waves creating are less within the in the length of a particular time, that is low frequency. So frequency is nothing but a number of waves that form in a given length of time. So this frequency and wavelength, okay, describes the energy level and penetration level of the radiation. So which are the parameter? The parameter, the main parameters are frequency and wavelength. Those two are decides the level of energy of the light. Now come to the X-ray and gamma rays. Here we have to know about electromagnetic spectrum. Already I told what is electromagnetic radiation. Okay. Now we see the spectrum of electromagnetic radiation. Spectrum in the sense, electromagnetic radiation has enormous range of wavelengths and frequencies. Okay, see this. The EM radiation means electromagnetic radiation has enormous range of wavelengths and frequencies. So based on the wavelengths and frequencies, this electromagnetic radiation is divided into 7 groups. The electromagnetic radiation is divided into 7 groups based on the wavelengths and frequency. Okay, see this. What are those 7 groups? We will see. Okay, now the 7 groups are long radio waves, radio and TV rays waves, microwaves, infrared rays, UV visible light, UV rays, X-rays and gamma rays. Means if the radiation has low wavelength, less wavelength and high frequency, okay, means then then the radiation has more energy, more powerful. Say this, here the frequency is high and wavelength is low. Okay, means here the energy levels are very high. Here the radiation has high energy levels and high penetration levels. Here which rays has high energy levels, that is gamma rays. Those are very dangerous. And next one is the wavelength of X-rays are compared to less, okay, with this group of waves, but when compared with gamma, the wavelength is high and frequency is low. Means the energy levels in X-rays radiation is high but less than gamma rays. One category is UV rays, ultraviolet rays. Okay, sometimes we are exposed to the ultraviolet rays coming from the sun. Okay, means these are less frequency and high wavelength when compared with the X-rays. Next one is visual light. Visible light means our daily life we are exposed to this radiation, that is visible light. So this is the range of the wavelength and frequency. Okay, the visible light frequency and wavelength are different when compared with the gamma rays, X-rays, and UV rays. Here the frequency is less and wavelength is high. Okay. Next, after visible light, the wavelength, more wavelength and less frequency rays are infrared rays. You know, infrared rays. Okay. Next, microwave rays and radio and TV waves. Okay. Is also we are in our daily life we are using this range of radiation, electromagnetic radiation also. Okay. So these rays have different wavelengths and different frequency. Based on the wavelength and frequency, the energy levels of and penetration levels of the radiation is different. Okay. Now we are using high frequency and low wavelength rays for NDT testing. Those are X-rays and gamma rays. Both X-rays and gamma rays are plays crucial role in non-destructive testing, especially in radiography. This is the about spectrum of electromagnetic radiation. Okay, means X-ray and gamma rays has more energy levels because of high frequency and low wavelength, less wavelength. These two rays exhibit different properties. That properties will help in the non-destructive testing techniques. Okay. Next one, X-rays. First, we see the properties of X-ray. Properties of the X-ray. What are the properties? First property, you know, X-ray is belongs to a family of electromagnetic radiation. I already told in previous slide. X-ray belongs to the family group of electromagnetic radiation. That is the first property. And the second thing, the X-rays are travel with the same speed of visible light. You know, the speed of light, very high. Okay, in the universe. Okay, the light can travel with high speed. You know that. Okay, the X-rays also maintain same speed. Okay, equal to visible light. That is the second property of X-rays. Okay, third one, these X-rays are invisible. We can't see to with our eye. So X-rays are invisible and heard or smelled. We can't hide it. Means X-rays doesn't make any noise. So no sound from the X-rays. At the same time, we can't smell it. Means there is no smell from the X-rays. X-rays are invisible, can't seen, heard, and smelled. So we can't identify the X-rays, the traveling of X-rays. Next, you know, light can reflect, refract, and deflect, but these X-rays cannot be reflected, refracted, or deflected by a magnetic or electric field. Okay, if you take a magnet and put near to the X-rays, it doesn't affect the X-rays. Means they don't possess any charge. If X-rays has charge, means negative charge or positive charge, then only these rays can reflect, refract, or deflected by magnet or electric field. But X-rays not possess any charge. Means those are not neutral. Those are neutral. Next, X-rays are pure energy, no mass. X-rays have energy only, no mass. Only energy transfer is there. Mass transfer is not there. Okay, that is the one more beautiful property of X-ray. Next one is X-rays travel in straight line only. That is the our main advantage of X-rays are they can travel in straight line only. Okay, and X-rays can penetrate into liquids, solids, and gases also. Okay, This property of penetration is useful in non-destructive testing. You know that. Next, once the X-rays interact with the material, the X-rays are interact with the material. They penetrate and cause ionization. Okay, this property of ionization useful to make the photograph, means to make the films, means for permanent record of the defects can be possible because of this property. That is, the X-rays can interact with material, they can penetrate and cause ionization. Okay, if the film is take, film has a silver ions. Those are I means it is ionized into silver ion. That creates the picture on the film. You know, X-ray film that was created because of this property of X-rays. Okay, next one. X-rays can cause substance to fluorescence, means they can emit some light radiation. Fluorescence, you know that. Radium is the best example for fluorescence. Not radium. If you if you impart that X-rays on a particular material, if that material emits light, that is nothing but fluorescence. Okay, that is also one of the property of X-rays. Sometimes this fluorescence property is also useful in non-destructive test. And the last one, X-rays can produce image on photographic film. Okay, these are the main properties of the X-rays. These are electromagnetic radiation, can travel with the speed of visible light and it can't seen, heard, or smelt, can't reflect, refracted, deflect means no charge in the X-rays and no mass, travel in straight lines, penetrate in all materials, okay, in all states, and ionization and fluorescence and photographic film. These are the main properties of X-ray. Okay, simply the definition of X-rays are defined as weightless packages of pure energy that are without electrical charge and the travel in waves along straight line with specific frequency and speed. Okay, this is the definition of X-ray. Simply X-rays are packages of energy. Remember. Next. Okay, now we see the properties of gamma rays. Okay, you know gamma rays also belongs to the family of magnetic radiation. Okay, this is also in the magnetic spectrum, electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, similar, these some properties of gamma rays are similar to the X-ray. Few are differentiated from the X-ray. Okay, first one, first property is these are not magnetic, means gamma rays also not have any charge, any positive charge or negative charge, no charge, neutral. Okay, so they are not affected with the electric or magnetic fields. The similar property to the X-rays. Okay, second one, already I told these are the electromagnetic waves and smaller wavelengths and higher frequency than X. When compared with the X-rays, gamma rays have the wavelength of gamma rays is very small. When compared with X-rays, at the same time, frequency is high. Okay, next, similar to the X-rays, mass of gamma rays is zero. If you take the gamma ray proton, what is the mass of gamma ray? Photon is zero because the ray is nothing but is a bunch of photons. Photon, you know, light energy is in terms of photons. So here the photon's mass is zero, means mass is zero. Next, similarly, gamma rays also travel with the speed of light. Because the family of light, automatically gamma rays has equal speed of the light. Next, Gamma rays have very large penetrating power when compared with X-ray because of high energy levels and high frequency and less lower wavelength. These properties causes high penetrosity to the gamma rays. Means we can penetrate the rays into the materials up to certain distance and desirable distance. That can be possible because of this penetrating power of gamma rays. And similarly to the X-rays, gamma rays can produce fluorescence in a substance like wilmite. Wilmite is a zinc silicate material. If you impart gamma rays on that material, okay, it emits some light. Means it looks like bright. That is the one more property of gamma rays. And gamma rays affect the photographic plate. Okay, you know, in radiation, especially in radioactive in radioactive materials, we have three particles: beta particles, alpha particles, and gamma particles. Gamma rays affect the photographic plate more than beta particles. Later, we will discuss about beta particles. Okay, and one more property of gamma rays is it can knock out electrons from the surface of. Suppose gamma rays are fall on a surface of a metal, it will remove the electrons on the surface of the metal. Okay, and gamma rays, very important property of gamma rays is it produces nuclear reactions. You know, fusion and fission reactions that can be possible with the gamma rays. Okay, at the same time, one more property is similar to the X-ray is radiation power is also there for gamma rays. It will useful in the film making or photographic making. So these are the properties of gamma rays. You can observe here for gamma rays and X-rays, we have similar properties for gamma rays and X-rays. That's why we are using both rays for radiography. But few properties are differ between the gamma rays and X-rays. That is the penetrating power and energy levels. There's some radioactive reaction, nuclear reaction. Okay, radioactivity. These are the few difference is there. Okay, the major difference is penetrating power and nuclear reaction. Those are most differentiate with the X-ray. Okay, next we see the generation of X-rays and gamma rays. How to generate these X-rays and gamma rays for testing, okay, in non-destructive testing procedure. Okay, first we see how to generate X-rays. Okay, see this, we need some equipment to generate the X-ray. That is X-ray tube. This is the diagram that shows the requirements for producing the X-rays. This is the X-ray tube. Here we have this called X-ray generator also. Here we have a tube. This is the shape of the tube. Okay, this is evacuated tube, means there is no air inside of the tube. And here we have 2 points. This is cathode. Sorry, this is cathode. Means here we have a filament. Okay, a wire. Wire. The nature of that wire is in the electrons in the wire are loosely held. Means you can remove the electrons easily from this cathode wire. Okay, here we have anode. Okay, this is the high atomic number material. Here we are using tungsten. Tungsten has high atomic number. That's why we are using tungsten anode here. This is the anode. This is the cathode. Okay, this is the X-ray tube. Now we see the generation procedure. See this video. It will explain Easily, you can easily understand by seeing this video, how to produce the X-rays. See, see this here. This is the equipment required to produce the X-rays. What are the? This is the practical view. This is the tube. This is the evacuated tube. Why it is evacuated, I will explain later. Okay, here we have two batteries. Okay, and here we have a cooling system. I will explain. Here, this is the cathode part. Cathode has a filament, means wire filament, like filament in the bulb. Similarly, here we have a filament. That filament is connected to one battery. Filament is connected to a small battery. Here, this battery produces low ampere current. The main purpose of this battery is to heat the filament. The main purpose of this small battery is to heat the filament. The heating of filament causes losing of electrons from the filament. Once you heat the filament wire in the cathode filament wire, automatically the electrons from the wire are separated. The electrons from the wire are separated, means electrons are emitted from the wire. If you increase the current, this is the low voltage, low current, low ampere current. If you increase the current by using this battery, you can increase the heating process of the filament. If you heat more, you can the emit means you can emit more electrons by heating filament, by increasing the heating of filament. That can be possible by low ampere current. And second one, we have a battery. This is the high voltage battery. This is the high voltage battery. One terminal is connected to cathode and second terminal is connected to anode. Second terminal is connected to anode and one terminal is connected to cathode. Because of high potential difference is existed between cathode and anode. Because of the main purpose of this battery is to maintain the high potential difference between the cathode and anode. Okay. Next, this is the cooling system. Here we are using water cooling system. See this. Here, this is the tungsten. Okay, this is the back is made up with copper. Okay, this is made up of with copper. This is indirectly transfers the heat from the anode to the water. It transfers the heat from anode to the water. So this is a cooling system. This is the purpose of cooling. This is how the high heat is generated at the anode because of these electrons from the cathode causes high heat. That heat should be removed with the help of. Now we see the procedure. First, this is the filament, tungsten filament. This is the target. Okay, we are maintaining low pressure vacuum because we just removed the air. This is the low tension battery that is connected to the filament wire for heating the filament. And heating of filament causes removal of electrons from the filament. Here we have a cylinder, molybdenum cylinder, to control the electrons travel, to focus the electrons travel onto the anode. Okay, now the emitting electrons from the cathode are hitting the anode. This is the high atomic number material. Okay, once the electrons emitted from the cathode hits the target, okay, automatically the speed of the electrons are stopped here. Okay, that sudden reduced slowdown or stopping of electrons causes X-rays. Okay, this is the target. We are hitting the electrons. how the electrons are traveling from cathode and to anode because of this high potential difference. Okay, this molybdenum tube focuses the electrons on the anode. See this here, because of high heating of electrons on the target causes heat, enormous heat. We have to remove that heat. We are arranging cooling water. The main purpose of water is to cool this anode part. And why the tube is evacuated? Because here high heat is generated. There is a possibility of arcing, arc welding. Because of electron jumping, there is a possibility of arcing. Means there is a possibility for fire here. So we have, for controlling that fire, okay, we are, for controlling the fire, we are removing the oxygen from the tube. We are just removing the oxygen from the tube. Why it is evacuated? To remove the oxygen inside of the tube. How to remove the, why need to remove the oxygen in the tube? Okay, to avoid the firing or arcing of the arcing procedure inside the tube, because there is a possibility for high heat. There is a possibility for fire. We have to remove, avoid that fire. We need to remove the oxygen from the tube. See this. After heating of electrons, the anode X-rays are generated. These are the X-rays. These rays are important. We can control. See this. Here, after hitting the anode, okay, the electrons hardly hitting the anode, that causes the generation of X-rays. We can control this generation of X-rays and power of the X-rays, the energy levels of the X-rays, by controlling the voltage. One is main heating. By controlling the heating of coil, we can control the X-rays, energy of X-rays, and also by controlling the high potential difference between the cathode and anode, also we can increase or decrease the intensity of the X-rays. Okay, this is the procedure of generating X-rays. Now see what are the different factors influencing the. One is, if the higher the temperature of the filament, the larger of electrons that can be leave the cathode and travel to the anode. But how to higher the temperature of the filament? Okay, by controlling the tube current. By controlling the tube current. Okay, already I told, a small battery is there. By using that battery, okay, we are heating the, okay, with the help of that battery, we can increase the temperature of the coil and we can decrease the temperature of the coil. If you increase the temperature of the filament, electrons emitted from the filament are more, and more electrons are hitting the anode, that causes more X-rays with high intensity. Next one, high voltage between the cathode and anode affects the speed. See this. One thing is, if heat more and you can generate more electrons, and more electrons are hitting anode, and we are getting more intense X-ray beam. Okay, second one is the potential difference between the anode and cathode. If you increase the potential difference, the speed of the electrons increases, and heating with high velocity, that causes high intensity X-ray. So by controlling the heat of the cathode, or by maintaining the potential difference between this cathode and anode, we can control the X-rays. Okay, so in these two ways we can control the intensity of X-rays. Okay, instead, suppose the intensity of X-rays are more, they can penetrate to more depth. Simply. Next, here one more device, that is focal cup. Okay, the main purpose of the focal cup is simply, We have to concentrate all electrons. If all electrons are hitting at same spot, you can generate the continuous X-rays in a proper direction. That's why we have to focus all electrons to the single spot in the anode. For that purpose, we are using focal cups, focusing cups. Okay. And one more thing, already I told, anode is made up with high atomic number, especially tungsten, molybdenum, both materials are used for making anode. Okay. And to avoid the burning up, we are removing the oxygen from the tube, already I told. And one more thing, we have to control the X-ray, means we have control console. By using this control console, we can increase or decrease the intensity of X-rays. Once you just you button on, automatically X-rays are generated. If you off the button, automatically X-rays are decreased. Okay, that button will activate or deactivate the filament. Okay, next one is gamma rays. How to generate the gamma rays? Okay, next class we will discuss about gamma ray sources. Okay, if you have any doubts regarding generation of X-rays and the properties and of X-rays and gamma rays and electromagnetic radiation, please ask me. Sir, I will allow you to unmute. Please unmute yourself and you can ask any doubt regarding the today's topics. What is electromagnetic radiation? What is the spectrum of electromagnetic radiation? And what is X-ray? What is gamma ray? What are the properties of X-rays? What are the properties of gamma? How X-rays are generated? What kind of equipment is needed to generate the X-rays? Okay, all these things are I explained all these things. If you have any doubts regarding this, please unmute yourself, ask.